Hey guys, what's good? This is Andre and today I want to go over a couple of interesting picks with you guys. We're going to look at NatGas and USOIL, and I also want to make sure that we look at a couple of different oil and gas stocks because I think a lot of them are setting up for an interesting couple of weeks to a couple of months here. Now, before we jump into that, guys, thank you so much for every single like you guys have been giving me throughout the last few videos. Honestly, it's been making a tremendous difference for my channel. Being a small one, we're still showing YouTube what we're about, so thank you so much for taking the time to do that if you see value in the content, of course. Now, moving into here, guys, I'm gonna start out with NatGas because we're seeing, I was almost about to say NASDAQ, which is also an interesting talking point these days because it's doing one of those special, what's it called? Special rebalances, which means that it's basically gonna drop a lot of the big Magnificent Seven or whatever they're called, and then gonna rebalance that with other stocks. So we're gonna see some interesting movements with NASDAQ in the upcoming month to a couple of months because if I recall correctly, the change is starting to happen July 24th. Now, back with NatGas here, guys. It's interesting to see what's happening, but also nothing is happening because I keep getting questions on Twitter of whether or not I'm bullish, bearish, or what are we doing with NatGas here. So I've dropped to a 4-hour time frame here because I think it's important to kind of zoom in a little bit more and take a look at this trend line. This is a clear lower high pattern here, guys, and we can draw a parallel one at the bottom, and it's a clear lower low pattern. Now, if and when this pattern breaks, that's when we know that the short-term trend has shifted from bearish to bullish. Now the short-term trend is bearish. We have not made a closing high yet on a 4-hour basis. That would only happen if we manage to break above and hold above 2.77 on a 4-hour base chart. We haven't done that in quite a while yet, so nothing really interesting happening. I know yesterday was a big up day. I know today pre-market is a plus 2% day. Really great stuff, but that being said, we are still kind of trading in the same exact range. Nothing's happening quite of yet. And so I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish, I'm watching. And watching is something that you should get really good at if you want to get really good at stock trading, because otherwise, or just trading in general, because otherwise you're gonna keep getting in at the wrong time. The MACD on the daily is still not showing any sort of buy signal. I expect this to continue moving slightly lower here as the MACD continues moving lower as well, at which point we might see one of those zero line or near zero line reversals in the MACD, and that will give us a buy signal. Let's see if this happens from here. Let's see if it happens from here. We don't quite know. We just need to be patient here, and that's why I encourage you guys to do so. Now, on USOIL or WTI or Brent or whatever you guys are trading nowadays, I said it the other day. We bought here at 67.5. We sent an alert out to our patrons. A lot of profits were made because we exited over here at 73.67. Now we are kind of flagging over here. If we go down to the 4-hour chart, it's gonna be a lot more clear, or actually it may be the 1-hour chart. But anyway, it's forming kind of a flag pattern over here. Let's see where this goes. I wouldn't be shocked if this manages to break above this level here and head out further to maybe 76.5. That would, however, be quite significant. Now, we have captured what I would argue was the meat of the move. So we captured this part right here. We captured 9%. If this continues to rally and goes roughly 13%, I will take 9 out of 13% all day, every day. I am watching this right now. I'm not in a hurry to do anything. I don't want to give away everything I've made on the move up. I will, however, buy on a retracement. So what would that look like if we manage to, for instance, move in here? I'm using the 18 and the 40 moving averages. If we manage to move in here in one of the two of them, that would be great. If we get the retracement back into this trend line, that would be even better. But let's see if and when that happens, because if too many days go by before the retracement and you kind of retest over here, I wouldn't be as bullish about that anymore as I would over here. So it's definitely something that I'm keeping my eyes on. I want to see how it's evolving. I think this level over here could be an interesting one. And then something else that you could do as well is just draw a Fibonacci retracement and start buying once it starts hitting maybe the 38 fib, then the 50 fib, you add a little bit more extra, and then maybe the golden pocket, you go in with the entire move or the entire position that you want to take and kind of call it a day and wait to see what happens with a proper risk management in place. Now that's it for USOIL as well. Guys, I want to take a break here and just tell you guys that we've been taking a lot of profits in our Patreon community. I encourage you guys to check us out for just $15 a month. You can check things out, you can cancel anytime, and if you don't make that money back within the first month, feel free to cancel. That being said, if you're serious about trading, I do encourage you guys to check us out and to try us out for that first month. The most recent trade, the most recent significant trade is US wheat. We are taking this long from roughly 644. We've had a really good move up today. Earlier last week we took gold long from the 1905 area over here, and we are now battling against this 1940 area that I had mentioned would be a really important one. And we're also tracking a couple of really great forex trades. I actually sent this out not only in Patreon earlier today, but also Twitter, kind of making or creating a challenge to Twitter followers. If you guys can take this trade long and make money on it, go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon community just so you can continue making money, and you also have a great opportunity to do so by taking a trade that we have given you, so you can consider it just icing on top of the cake that you reinvest in your future success. Now moving back into what we want to cover today, guys, I think a lot of the oil and gas stocks are shaping up really beautifully here. SLB, I'm not gonna attempt to say their name. I think my tongue is gonna break or something. I would love to see a retracement back into this trend line for a move higher. I don't think we're gonna get it. I think SLB was early and kind of the canary in a coal mine. It's signaling the fact that this entire segment is going to continue moving higher, and so we've got a couple of really interesting ones. OXY is one of them, which managed to really not fall after a pretty massive head and shoulders pattern. I was expecting it to crash and burn. It hasn't, and if it manages to break above this trend line, that's gonna be a pretty exciting move. And just really take your pick. EOG managed to break above this trend line, retested it from the above yesterday. I think we're gonna move up. DVN, yeah, so for DVN we've got a very similar setup here, managed to break above a very long-term trend line here. I think we're gonna move higher. I think really the target for DVN, or for something like DVN, is at least 55. So the way I would probably shape a move like this would be to take a long here, and we are going to place our stop loss just beneath the last wave down and take profit and place it here. And we've got a really great 1 to almost 3 risk reward ratio, which is pretty fantastic. And guys, this is kind of it for this one video here. I wanted to give you guys an idea. Now the research needs to be all yours, or you need to jump into our Patreon community. These are all things that we've signaled as early as yesterday morning when we sent out our weekly watch list, where we not only had a lot of oil and gas signals, but also a couple of really interesting ones. For instance, AMD short, which has ran really well yesterday, and I think it's gonna continue to run throughout the week. McDonald's short. We have got a lot of really interesting ones, so check us out. Thanks so much for tuning in on today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Take care.